Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're jumping into something that I think causes a lot of us anxiety.
Oh, for sure.
We're taking the design thinking principles from Sanford's Bill Burnett and Dave Evans, and we're applying them to building a life and a career that actually feels good, that brings you joy.
And right away, they just dismantle the whole traditional approach. The fundamental flaw, they say, is the search.
The search.
Yeah, we're all conditioned to believe there's one perfect, preordained path just waiting for us.
The right choice.
The right choice. And we agonize over it, but they argue that search is, well, it's futile. Your perfect life isn't hiding out there in some cosmic lost and found bin.
Okay, so that immediately takes a lot of pressure off.
Yeah.
But if we stop searching, what do we do instead? What's the design thinking approach?
We design it. We build it. The core mission is to see that a well-designed life is generative.
What does that mean, generative?
It means it's constantly creative, productive, it's changing, it's evolving. It's not a destination you arrive at. It's a continuous build.
I see.
And you can see why this is so needed when you look at the data. I mean, something like 69% of American workers, and it's even worse globally, like 85%. They're disengaged.
Wow.
So this is really a practical toolkit to get out of that rut.
That level of disengagement is just staggering. It definitely demands a new way of thinking. So let's get into that essential mindset shift.
Right.
Designers don't just sit and think their way forward. They build their way forward. It's all about constant experimentation.
It's a complete rejection of that endless contemplation, that paralysis by analysis.
So what do you need to do that? What are the tools?
It's about installing 5 core mindsets, sort of like new operating systems for your brain.
Okay.
First is curiosity. You just have to stay open. Then a bias to action, which is what you just said. You build, you move.
Got it.
Then reframing, so you can see problems in a new, actionable way. After that comes awareness, knowing exactly where you are right now. And finally, radical collaboration.
Radical collaboration.
Yeah, the idea that you can't design your life in a vacuum. You need other people.
Let's start with awareness, because that feels like the real starting line. You have to accept your reality, not just where you wish you were.
Exactly. It's about taking an honest inventory. The first step is to evaluate 4 critical areas, which they call your life dashboard.
A dashboard, I like that. What's on it?
You've got health, and that's mental, physical, and spiritual. Then work, your professional life. Play, which is crucial things that bring you pure joy.
Things you do just for fun.
Yes. And finally, love, which is all about your relationships. You can't start building until you know how solid that foundation is.
So once you've got that assessment, that dashboard, you have to figure out what you can actually fix.
Right, which brings us to a really powerful tool they have. They call it the gravity problem.
A gravity problem.
Think of it like this. It's a circumstance, a fact of life. Something that you fundamentally cannot change. It's like gravity itself.
You can't act on it.
You can't. And if it's not actionable, it's not a problem to be solved. It's a reality you have to accept and work around.
So you stop wasting energy on it.
You stop fighting gravity. Instead, you can, design an airplane to work with it. You focus only on what you have agency over.
That's a huge mental cleanup right there.
Yeah.
So once we clear out those gravity problems, how do we find our direction? They talk about building an internal compass.
Yes. And the compass is all about coherency.
Coherency.
Coherency is when who you are, what you believe, and what you're doing all line up.
That sounds like the goal.
It is. And to find it, you need to articulate 2 things for yourself. First is your work view. That's your philosophy of work, why you do it, what it's for.
Okay, your work view.
And second is your life view. These are your fundamental beliefs about the world, about meaning, about your place in it all. The goal is to get those 2 to speak to each other, to be integrated.
So if you're listening and you want to start this, like today, what's the very first thing to do?
2 very practical things. First, start what they call a good time journal.
Okay.
Just track your activities and note when you feel most engaged, most energized, when you're in a state of flow. That gives you real data about yourself.
And the second thing?
Draft those work view and life view statements. It might feel a bit like homework, but those are the internal maps you need before you start moving.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me. Prototyping.
The bias to action in practice.
Exactly. The whole philosophy is you're going to choose better when you have lots of good ideas to choose from, and you never, ever just go with your first solution.
To get those ideas, they suggest you create 3 completely different 5-year plans. They're called Odyssey plans.
3 plans, okay?
Life 1 is basically your current path, more the same. Life 2 is what you'd do if life 1 just vanished tomorrow.
Your plan B.
Your plan B. And life 3 is the wild card. It's what you would do if money and what other people think weren't an issue at all.
Okay, so you have these 3 big ideas. How do you test them without, blowing up your whole life?
That's where the prototyping conversation comes in. And they are very clear. This is not a research call. It's not an informational interview.
What is it then?
It's empirical testing. You're trying to tap into what they call embodied intelligence.
Embodied intelligence.
Yeah, there's research that shows when people just read data about an experience, like a dossier on a potential date, they make bad choices.
Right.
But when they talk to surrogates, people who have actually lived that experience, they make much, much better decisions. The real answer is out in the world, in people's stories.
That reminds me of the story they told about the 2 students who were thinking about becoming dentists.
Oh, that's a perfect example. Right. So they both go out and interview dentists. One comes back and says, they're horrible, it's a terrible job.
And the other one loves it.
The other one says, it's fabulous. And they realized they didn't know anything until they actually compared notes on the human experience.
Not just the facts.
Not the facts, but the harmonic resonance of the story. Did the story of that person's life feel right to them? That's the data you're gathering.
And this whole prototyping idea, it even reframes how you look for a job.
It totally changes the power dynamic. The reframe is, you are never looking for a job, you are looking for an offer.
I like that.
It turns you from a desperate person pleading for a chance into a curious explorer who is vetting an opportunity to see if it fits your design. It's so much more empowering.
Let's talk about what they call the designer's power tool, reframing.
This is huge. Designers know that their clients almost never give them the right problem to solve at first.
They frame it too narrowly.
Way too narrowly. So the job is to reframe it. And the process is all about stripping away the emotional drama to get to a simple, factual restatement.
So it becomes something you can actually work on.
Precisely. Take that classic complaint. I'll never get any appreciation around here. My boss is just a jerk.
Yeah, that's a dead end. That's a gravity problem.
It is. It's emotionally charged. It's paralyzing. So you strip out the drama words like never and jerk.
And what do you get?
The reframe version might be, I've had difficulty getting feedback, and my boss doesn't seem to be the right person to provide that right now. That's totally different.
It removes the personal attack, and it immediately opens up new paths. Maybe you can get feedback from a mentor or from your peers. It becomes an actionable problem.
So how does this apply to when you're just stuck in your own head? Ruminating on a problem over and over.
You can't just force yourself to stop thinking about it. That doesn't work.
No.
But you can redirect your attention. If a problem isn't actionable at this exact moment, you have to acknowledge that thinking about it isn't helping. And then you deliberately redirect your energy to something generative.
Like scheduling one of those prototype conversations.
Exactly. Or working on your work view. You have to build your way out of that mental quicksand.
So, bringing this all together, what does this framework mean for the bigger picture of work today?
The whole conversation has shifted. I think the sources are really clear on this.
Yeah.
People are not just looking for a career anymore. They want great lives with a cool career in it.
The career serves the life, not the other way around. Right. And you have to remember, someone entering the workforce now might have, 15 to 25 jobs over their lifetime.
And multiple careers.
2, 3 different careers. So getting good at life design isn't a luxury. It's an essential skill for resilience.
This has to create some tension for leaders, though. When an employee says, that's not the right work for me, you can't just say, do it because I said so anymore.
You can't. The design solution here is to recognize that people have 3 fundamental needs at work: autonomy, relatedness, and competency. The ARC framework. Leaders have to communicate why the work matters. Google's research on high-performance teams showed the #1 factor was clarity of goal.
So if the purpose isn't clear,
if the why isn't clear, the work feels meaningless, and then the employee is right. It isn't the right work for them.
So it really all comes back to this idea of good choosing. It's not about finding the one perfect choice. It's about getting good at the process of choosing well, and maybe just as important, letting go of the other options.
Yes, that's the paradox of choice, isn't it? The more options we have, the less happy we are with the one we pick.
Because you're always wondering, what if?
Exactly. Real happiness in a choice comes from consciously releasing the options you didn't take. The whole thing is this joyful, ongoing project of building, testing, and letting go.
So for you listening, remember that the ultimate goal here is that coherency we talked about, getting your work view and your life view to line up. This whole framework is just a toolkit to get you there.
And when you think about how many people are disengaged at work and how bad most companies are at managing change, this idea of taking personal agency, of designing your own way forward, it feels more crucial than ever.
It really does.
So maybe here's the thought to leave with. What's one small prototype conversation you could have this week? Not a big research project, just one conversation with someone living a life that you're curious about to gather a little bit of that real empirical data. Just start there. Start talking, start testing, and start designing.